Alright, hey there guys! Welcome to my new Let's Play of Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. Alright, so I've been following this game for quite a while, so when it finally came out, I just had to start playing it once I grabbed it, and once I had time to grab it. I've been kind of busy lately, so that's why I haven't been uploading videos, but you know, I'm starting with this one again. I'm having issues with my other Let's Play, so that's going to be on hold. Until then, I'm just going to go ahead and do this game. Also because it's October, it's Halloween. Kind of wanted to do something a little bit on the spooky side. Right, and this game was just perfect. Right, perfect timing here. Right, so for those of you who don't know, Werewolf the Apocalypse is part of a series, well, it's part of a really old series back in like the 80s, 70s. Tabletop RPGs, including probably the most famous one of the series is Vampire the Masquerade, and then Werewolf the Apocalypse is probably the second most well-known, and then there's a bunch of other ones. Right. Recently they decided to, so White Wolf, the original publisher, has decided to go ahead and revamp all of the games, revamp, right? All of the games, and remodernize them for the for modern day audiences. For those of you who have been looking into these games, you probably heard of the Vampire the Masquerade. That game is coming out, which is a sequel to an older RPG that they did. And then Werewolf is getting Earthblood, I believe. Yeah, Earthblood, which is going to be like a, you know, the 3D action. And then on the side, they're having the smaller studios, in this case, Different Tales, doing text-based games like this one. So Heart of the Forest is like the first one coming out. One of the first ones coming out in the text-based genre. There's two others for Vampire that are out, but this one is the first one for Werewolf. And I'm hearing a lot of really good things about it, so let's go ahead, let's dive on in and try it out. Let's go ahead, new game here. Okay, so this is a text-based game, right? So there's gonna be a lot of text here. Tutorial. Okay, so this is a game about rage and how it helps us do things that need to be done, as well as things that we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Okay, great. I'm always angry. I'm okay with anger when it's useful, but I prefer to think before I act. Okay, so the game is actually using the Apocalypse system itself, right, as part of the engine. So basically, it works with you roll a bunch of d6s based on your stats. Right. It's a simple system compared to D&D, right? But it has a lot of interesting kind of mechanics here. Right. So let's go with, I'm gonna go with the middle option because I feel like so. Oh, it's not telling me like what the pluses are. Let's go with the middle one now. Because your rage is balanced. Okay, so you get 3 rage. Okay. So you're the critical and analytical type. That's okay. There's no right path here. Just your decisions and consequences. Let's start already. I get it, my decisions need to refrain just. Follow the path and see where it takes us. Okay. So I wonder if that's affecting willpower, maybe? Alright, let's try the top one. Let's see. Inspiring. Okay. Alright, the forest. The woods are full of stars. They flicker, come closer, run away. They want me to chase them, to play hide and seek. I hunt, I observe, I hide. Alright, cool. So obviously, if you're kind of role-playing a werewolf in this case, so you have to think like, what would you do? Let's be honest here. I'm just gonna do what I would do. I would observe, I guess. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is affecting our stats. Okay. I watch as they dance around. The tree trunks float up on the gusts of wind that shiver through the branches, disappear among the leaves. There are words in their dance, but I don't understand them. Not yet. Now they bunch up and fly towards me like an arrow, rushing down. They're soon upon me, but just before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear and the dark of the night returns. So balance. In the darkness, I feel the tangled roots of stories keeping the forest alive. I hear the spirits asking me to judge the enemy. I open my eyes, and then I wake up. Cold and blue. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay to such an extent that it's hard to breathe. The smell fascinates me. I recognize this force. Why am I here? Why am I here? My head is spinning. Why am I here? There must be a reason. The tree trunks wrapped tightly in dark-leaved ivy are covered in ripples of lichen, where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny leafless bushes at their base are overrun with nettles. The fungi radiate with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark sponge-like mushrooms cling to fallen trees. I try to breathe. I'm cold. Something rotten. I like that first one. I try to breathe. I take a deep breath and suddenly realize it's not the forest that smells so foul. It's me. I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I am naked. A sticky, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I can feel it on my face, in my hair. Blood. What is happening? This can't be real. I am alert. I'll be alert. I'll be alert. Nature's never quiet. The leaves rustle in the wind. Small creatures scuttle in the undergrowth. There is a whisper. I don't understand what it means, but the word resonates in my head. Garrow. Who said that? There's a severed head right in front of me. If I went and I touch it, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna touch it. Restraining. Overcoming my disgust, I gently touch it to its hair and watches the head topple over. It is a balance. The face is contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open as though the head was still struggling for air. I bump because I recognize who it is, and the eyes open in the darkness. Anyway, who is it? This is, don't go to the enemy. That was my first instinct. I could see their silhouettes, shades of jet black against the darkness. They reek of metal and acid and oil and money. Massive creatures with some mandibles, some with spidery legs. Their faceted eyes burn like small industrial furnaces. I look at them and something wakes the inside of my chest. It's a cold fury. I love it. Their entire existence is wrong and an abomination to the natural world. I've been judged and found lacking. I straighten, ready to carry out my sentence. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the force wants from me. And then I wake up. Ugh, the art is intense in this game. Okay, Chapter 1, The Arrival. Dreams. Maya, wake up. So, hi? Rage? Okay. I jerk upright, irritated. My neck was stiff. The movement went, sent a sudden wave of discomfort through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. Push away what happened. Okay. Let's do what happened. Oh, removing my willpower. What happened? Overcoming the urge to push her away was hard. Overcoming your stranger willpower. Yeah, I can see it already. She looked at me concerned. You were screaming. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there. I slowly unclenched my fists. I was glad I wasn't alone. Oh. Thank you for coming with me, I said. The girl next to me smiled. I think we're almost there. Her name was Anya. We met a couple of weeks earlier on orientation day. She was from Norway, a tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her long hair in braids. Somehow I managed to talk her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. Okay, if I mispronounce anybody, I'm sorry. Some of these words are, some of these names I'm like, oh. Over there, just studying medicine. Anya's sympathetic. She seems excited. Can we make them gay? I have this bad habit. Okay. Maybe it's just... I just do that sometimes. Okay, let's do this. I like that. She seemed excited. I like this girl already. Anya reached into her backpack and took out 2 apples. I'm really happy we decided to come here, she said. Yeah, I said, offering her some of my cabanossi. Dried meaty sausages that were so much better than the, quote, original Polish ones back in the US. Okay, huh. So I guess you're not in the US? That's weird. Anyways, I was glad Anya had decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around and really needed one. I did some searching, she said, from over her phone. And this place is amazing. Last primordial forest in Europe. Okay, so yeah, they're in Europe. this was my idea. Our summer language course was starting in a few weeks, and I managed to talk Anya to skipping the tours of concentration camps and old churches and visit Bielozwe National Park with me instead. So far, it's beautiful, she said, eyes smiling. But why are we here again? Good question. Why were we here? There being Bieloweza? I'm assuming it's Polish. Anyways, a small village in... I like the pronunciation here, but why didn't you have that before? Anyways, a small village in the northeast Poland near the border with Belarus. It was famous for its national park, the very last European bison. And according to a quick web search, occasional tension between far-right troublemakers and the local Belarusian community. The honest answer would have been, because I've been dreaming about the forest in I'm gonna butcher this name all the time. Anyways, since I can remember, but people didn't understand when I said things like that. I looked into her eyes. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. I told her as much as I could. I told her everything. I'm gonna keep it simple. I don't want to freak her out. I'm looking for my roots. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was from there. None of my relatives spoke about it though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in my life. Strange dreams that plagued me. Half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I heard before my mom took me, ran away, and cut off all contact with my dad and his family. I waited for her to respond. Anya fell silent for a moment. So she's sympathetic with me. So I guess that affects the way their dialogue is. So I wonder if I punched her, would she be less sympathetic? I think it's great that you come from such a magical place, she smiled. The last ancient forest in Europe, thousands of years old. I wasn't sure if I was fond of that magic, but it was hard to ignore. And that was precisely why I needed to do something. Anything about my future, that damn forest and my weird-ass family. I have clear goal in mind. That was never a mistake. I planned this trip for months, with a clear goal in mind. I had to face the forest, I had to return to my roots, I had to figure out my destiny. Destiny. My grandfather's cryptic remarks, the strange dreams, all the drama with my dad's family. Something was coming for me, something big. I wasn't sure what to believe. I wasn't sure if I believed in destiny, but I needed to understand what was happening, ready to face whatever fate had in store for me. I had enough of sitting idly by as things happened to me. Condition impaired willpower. Your willpower dropped to 0. When you lose all health or willpower, you become impaired. So my physical attacks, if you have 0 health, or social mental tasks, if you have 0 willpower, harder, and sometimes impossible. Okay, so again, that forest looks like an overexposed photo of a village with the contrast turned all the way up. The sun wasn't just shining, it was shouting at the earth and everything. The trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences seemed weathered. She doesn't have the... Oh yeah, the village. Okay, so it's a village, not a forest. Okay, but the forest is the same name as the town. Okay, but cool. I like that they give you a little definition here. Everything except the shadows were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks. Okay, the cool thing is that, like, as they drove up, you can see the building here, which is super nice. The artwork's really pretty in this game. For a second I could have sworn they moved. Then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in my tracks. Try to pet it! I'm gonna pet it. Here, kitty kitty, I said, squatting down, reaching towards the cat. Like a high rage. In a flash, I swatted my hand away. It swatted my hand with its paw, drawing a few drops of blood. I yelped. Hey Maya, Anya said, looking at me surprised. Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us? Ouch. But he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. Let's go, Anya. Let's go. Anya put on her backpack. I'm tired, and I really, really need to find my toilet. That's a 0 willpower. I didn't know what to do. I was too tired and distracted to think clearly. My friend was nowhere in sight. But the meeting was just too important. Okay, let's see. Let's just wait a little longer, I said. I don't have his number and we really need to meet up with him. His name was Bartek. I met him online while researching that village. The man knew everything there was to know about local history. I asked him to check some stuff for me. I wasn't ready to tell her that the stuff was all legends and prophecies. I always found something. I really need to pee, Anya said. It was like a 5-year-old. Said it like I was a 5-year-old and not a very bright one. I made my best puppy dog eyes. Alright, cute. Oh, let's do that. I like that. It's cute. It's just like everyone is pretty. Please, pretty, please. I make my best puppy dog eyes. It's important. And I just looked at me and walked away. I grabbed my bag and timidly followed her, too tired to argue. Aww. I don't want to, like, ruin my relationship with her. She's really cool. So far, she's been sympathetic. Okay, so bed and breakfast. Alright, so the place had a few hotels and hostels, but the preferred form of accommodation was bed and breakfast. That's where we stayed. Cool. Found one that was nice, clean, and that had good reviews. We had a room on the second floor with a huge window and a great view of the forest. We dropped off our stuff and freshened up a bit. Maybe we should have waited for your friend? Anya asked, concerned. I shrugged. I'll find him sooner or later. Okay, cool. So I can look at it. Hey, I said we should have waited for your friend. For our friend? Duh. Okay, anyways. Let's check the sheet real quick. So name, age, profession, nationality, personality. Okay, so here's the personality here. Condition impaired by willpower, goal, mystery, fulfill your destiny. Pursue to regain willpower. It's on your sympathetic family. It's complicated. What can I... Okay, so it's a quick tear stamp, but I had other things in mind. I had a clear goal in mind. The land was calling for me. I wanted to understand my destiny. Anya went with you. So this is the time of the force that I dreamed of. Ooh, okay, so we have a choice here. So either we go into the forest and we find out, like, what's up with the forest, or should I go with the ancestors? I'm gonna lean towards the forest. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Maybe this is the kind of game where, like, it's preferred if you replay it over and over. So I might have to try it again, this time with a little bit different results. Might choose the town next time, but this time I'm gonna choose the forest because that I'm curious. Let's go. Oh, cool, an achievement. Oh yeah, and I did get the game on GOG, hence why these achievements look like that. Into the woods. It was dark in the woods, dark, humid, and chilly. The leaves didn't let through a lot of the sunlight. Daniel looked at Anya and me over his shoulder. How do you like her? We met maybe 20 minutes earlier. Oh gosh, for a second I was like, wait, who's this guy? Anya had Googled local guides and he was apparently the best person to go to if you wanted to see the forest. So I found him and now here we are. I wasn't sure whom he met. He's a strange one. I wasn't sure, like, who the heck are you talking about? Do you mean the forest? I asked. Polish was a strange language that gave the most unexpected genders to objects and ideas. I meant... possess? No, I can't say that. He gestured around. The word sounded like the wind rustling in the leaves. Pushiska. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It's terrible. And it is the right... Okay, so that word. It's the right word, not forest. Forests are like fields or orchards. Cultivated. He spat as he said it. Then Puzeska, she's older than even the concept of fields. He was using the word as though it was a name. Dude the werewolf, I'm calling it now. So they watched the forest. Okay, so let's go with the, yeah. I looked around with fresh eyes. Inspiring. I felt as though I entered an ancient hall where warriors told their stories. The trees stretched towards the sky like columns holding up the vaulted canopy, which blocked out all but a few rays of sunlight. Gigantic. Fallen trunks were decomposing slowly around me. With young plants and colorful mushrooms sprouted from them. I tried to guess their age. Some looked like they'd been there since before Europeans had sailed to the Americas. What stories could they tell? I love what I thought it was alien. There's something unsettling about it all. Let's go like, I want to go like full werewolf in this, so let's just say that she liked it. Okay. Okay, so Daniel likes me. Okay, he's sympathetic. There should be more places like this, I said earnestly. Or more of this place. Daniel lifted his head and looked at me right in the eyes. Yes, you're right, he said with a serious expression. He's a strange guy, slender but muscular. Not the CrossFit type. Well, the type of strength you get from working all day long in the open. His skin was weather-beaten and bronzed by the sun, like tanned leather. And he moved in a very deliberate way, but his fingers were slim and delicate. His eyes were the strangest shade of yellow-green. I remembered why I was there. He knew my family? I told him I dreamt about the Force. I was cautious when I asked my questions. I was very cautious. I don't know this guy. Okay. You look like you know all the local legends and folktales, I said. I didn't elaborate why I was interested in the topic. And he dropped abruptly and turned to me, watching me for a while. His nostril flared, as though he was tasting the air. I don't share them with strangers, he said. And he hesitated, but for some reason, this just... Okay, so of course. Doesn't think you're a stranger. Come on. He started walking. I know exactly what you need to see. That sounded vague. I bet he told all the tourists that. But I followed him. At the crossroads, okay. We have to choose a path, he said. There's the old wolf den, or I can show you the barrels first, or a clearing that some folks call a place of power. Place of power magic or tourist trap? Wolf's den, old stories, families divided. Barrels, ancient graves, buried secrets. Okay, so it looks like if you choose this one, there's some sort of like magic going on? Yes, a magic. The wolf's den is family, and then the barrows is probably some like ancient something secrets. I'm kind of curious about her family actually. This is I'm kind of leaning towards this, so let's take a look. Just one small thing. We started walking, but after a few steps he stopped abruptly, like he remembered something. Then he turned to me. Could you do me a favor, please? He asked. Depended? I don't know, I said slowly. Why don't you tell me what you want first? He ran his hand through the moss on a dead tree trunk, smelled his fingers, then reached into his pocket. He took out a small stone. Too small to be a weapon. It was barely a pebble, too small to pose a threat, although the brown spots on the surface looked like dried blood. Okay, so it tracks my decisions that will accumulate and gradually reveal what kind of person is deep in her heart. The story changed to reflect my personality. Oh. I would like you to take the stone. He held out his open hand towards me. And throw it in the direction you think we should go. Okay, I'll just do it. I don't care. Okay, I said, reaching for the stone. Anya's probably like, what the hell are you guys doing? Oh, there she is, yeah. I took the stone and closed my hand around it. Be careful, I whispered Anya. Just a stone. I was curious. I felt alive. I'm curious. I don't know what the heck is this thing. It's warm, and it was warm, and I felt grounded when I squeezed it. I closed my place, and I thought of the wolf den, trying to imagine that place. I thought about old wolf tracks and the bones of their prey. I threw the stone. My reach is high, so held my hand, raising entirely on the zone, then throwing the stone as far as I could. It was a good throw. The stone flew in a long arc over the bushes and disappeared without a trace in the dense underground. Great, Daniel sighed. I was asking for that, wasn't I? Okay. Oh. You're accepted. Huh, that's cool. So I guess it's a character? I played it cool. He gave me a faint smile before he turned deeper into the forest. Just like, ah! Okay, the old den. The first thing I noticed when we stopped was a pine tree. A pine tree I knew. Oh, take a look at the art. Like, look very carefully. This is a wolf's face right here. That's really cool. I guess I remembered it. Small, twisted, crooked, and not so powerful. Every bend, like every branch, had a story to tell. It's majestic, I thought suddenly. Months before that, when I decided to go to Poland, I dreamt of the tree. I was sure of it. Just like I was sure under its roots I would find a burrow, and a few feet away from one, with two dark eyes gazing at me, like as I approached. Oh, I see. Yeah, so this is what she's talking about here. Is that clickable? No, I must have covered. Okay. Daniel passed me and approached the tree. He pressed his cheek against the trunk. Hello, he said. Hello again. Let's do hello again. Hello again, I said quietly. Daniel looked at me with surprise, but didn't comment. This is the den, announced Daniel. It's abandoned, of course, but it's still worth seeing. How is it abandoned? What happened, I asked. Humans happened, Daniel sighed. I see the footprints here. He sat under the tree, leaning back against it. It was a hot spring morning when they found this den. No one knows who the men were, even though it was only one human generation ago. There were 6 cubs here under the roots of the tree. He stopped stuttering, and it seemed to enjoy telling the story. I enjoyed listening. To it. There was something calming in his voice and the way he talked. His slow gestures and wistful eyes made me feel as though I was with the cubs on that hot spring morning. I don't think they wanted to hurt the wolves, he continued. They probably thought it had been abandoned. That's why they took the cubs with them. Humans have this instinct that makes you try to befriend everything, especially if it's dangerous. Not befriend, it's like I didn't deceive you. Yeah, we don't like that. Okay, so this is minus rage. Is it a minus rage? Just kind of tone her down a bit. Yeah, we are something like that, aren't we, as well? I'm not saying it always works out, but the intention is good. I believe the men who kidnapped the wolves wanted to do something kind, too. Anyways, it took them. Out of the 6, 2 lived to see the cult summer that way. The wolf mother used to come to the farm they were at and howl. People went gray if they heard her. I knew that howl. Suddenly I heard that howl, and I knew exactly how it sounded. I felt despair and a long gnawing at my soul. I remembered how the cubs reacted. They wanted for their mother to leave. There's no other people that held themselves. Okay. Every time she came, we held back near the closed door, letting her know we were still alive. But there was hope that we would not grow up to be strong. Oh, are you okay? Let me ask, putting her hand on my shoulder. I felt for them. Okay. I just feel for the cubs. I know a little about divided families myself. Oh. Yeah, they usually ended the conversation. Daniel sighed, looking at the tree in the burrow. The cubs that survived were sold to some people in Kainufuya? Oh gosh. Okay, so it's a town near the forest, one of the centers of Orthodox faith, noble center for believers in culture of Poland, the largest timber factories. After a while, both ended up back in the city, with the scientists, the villager. They have a station in National Park. One of the wolves, Kazan, was a celebrity of sorts. If you saw any wolf photos from here, they're probably Kazan. He was even on postcards. I kept thinking about the mother, huh? Oh yeah, he's friendly with me. I wonder what happened to the mother. There's something missing from this story. I also felt she was more important than the story made her out to be. What kind of wolf was she after all that? That's a good observation. She eventually stopped looking for the cubs. She came back to the forest and found new children. With a slight gust of wind and the tree creaked. I remember the sound from the dreams as well. The sound made me safe. Then you should have said, I'm sure what happened to Cousin. Okay, so what happened to that wolf? Okay. What happened later? I felt I knew Daniel well enough to ask that. Is Cousin still alive? He lived for 8 years in the park. Daniel looked at me with his yellow-green eyes until they let another male wolf into his pen. I held my breath. They followed the she-wolf and Cousin lost. Anya looked for my phone. I've read about that. She sounded upset. They didn't notice he was wounded. It took him 3 days to die. Daniel shrugged. He lived a long life and died fighting. It was good. Aw, I saw her crying. Suddenly I felt tears well in my eyes. I tried to calm down, but when I went to say that we should go, I let out a soft sob. Hey, Anya touched my hand. It's okay. Daniel reacted the same way. He came for me and hugged me. Oh my god, he hugged me? For a moment, just allowed me to cry about the 6 wolves that had taken from the tree, and the tree that had its cubs taken from it. And those tears are good, he said. Let yourself have a cry. I didn't have much fun with. My willpower is 0. Well, I let myself have it. I did feel a lot better when I finished, but I was calmer. Daniel looked at the tree one last time. Goodbye, he said. I also said my goodbyes. Goodbye, I repeated. And we left. Okay, the force was alive where I was vigilant, but not alarmed by her presence. I kept thinking about the stolen cubs. Okay, cool, so we actually get to go to the others. Alright, so I'm probably going to end the video here, and then we're going to continue with the other choices in the next video that I upload. So it looks like they did allow me to go back. It's just maybe the order might be different. I did -1 rage. I don't have willpower though, so it's like, oh, I better. You will regain willpower when you pursue your goal, which is, in this case, it's fulfill your destiny, I guess. So we'll have to see what happens. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you don't mind me reading it. It kind of helps me get into the mood too. Yeah, so, and I apologize again for my weird pronunciation. Yeah. But luckily, you know, I like that the game does not translate, but gives me the definitions for these places, just because I'm probably going to forget after a while where the heck these places are. So far I'm really enjoying it. The story's really, really interesting. So we're going to go ahead and stop here. I'm just trying to find my short keys here. Right. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!